O great Jarl Dyre, you have fled far from the world of your father, from your destiny, from the path put before you, a rejected bastard with no inheritance. You moved far from his influence to the south into the land of the Slavs, and when that felt too close because of other Nords who expanded in the land of Novgorod, you determined that you must find a place far, far away, a place where no Norseman would ever go, far to the south, in a land known as Temokand, a land of mystery and legend. In this land, if you could ever reunite with your people, you would have become known as the greatest adventurer, having gone further and done more than any others. And all that remains now is for you to win your place in one last war. The history of this land is ancient and great, as ancient and great as great and ancient as the gods themselves. So, this is my take on Vikings in India. A lot of times when you see people talk about this online, or where the few people who've done it on YouTube, you see them just go to the character creator and create a character and drop them into India who's already a Norse Astrayu, or bird guy, bird rune guy, Odinite, bird rune guy, Odinite. To me, though, the way I play, I needed to make it feel like the start of this game would be real. So I took Jarl Dyre the Stranger from Conurgdur, I can't say that right. I'm not even going to try anymore. And I went on a great journey to move him here. A journey that you're not going to see because it's not interesting, really. Well, it is interesting. Okay, maybe I will eventually put it as a companion piece to this, but mostly it's just a very technical, take this province for this reason, 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 take this province for this reason. You're now in range. Form the young Vikings. Use their troops to smash somebody in India, as we're doing right now, and settle there forever. Ugh, can't believe how close we were to the Morgar Confederation. It's so dangerous. So we passed basically through multiple provinces over land until we could reach them by sea, and now we have reached our legendary target. The absolutely best duchy in Temokand. And once we win this war, we will officially be a Viking in India. An Indian Viking. A Norseman far from home. None of these matter. These are just the result of the places that I went to and didn't care about. These guys are our Viking adventurers, which I really did not think would reach here in time. They're mostly because I get to keep them afterwards and I could use the extra troop, but apparently they were able to travel from all the way up here in Sweden down to here in the amount of time it took me to make basically one siege and one battle. So let's just do this thing. Once this is done, we can start. Oh, I don't know why he changed his mind there, but that's going to be good for me. And so comes his doom. Oh, do I have a doctor? I hope so. I don't want this guy to die, even though I'll never see him again, because he's like the vassal of a province I won't control in like 2 minutes. In spite of being wounded? In spite of being maimed, he wounded that other guy? Wow. Just wow. Not enough attention to pay attention to my daughter coming of age. I'm gonna be a good dad. Maybe we'll use these 600 to hunt that army over there, the 300 one. Oh, you know, we won't catch them. We'll just bring them together. Yeah, that's better. This siege should probably win this for me. In spite of the fact he has a new ally, I don't think it's going to matter. Just to make sure, though, let's split off an assault force and use it to smash this army one more time. You know what? Let's wait till he's committed in his move, then we'll catch him for sure. Now he's basically trapped. And hopefully this will be enough. And if it isn't, the siege will win it for us. That's it. We got it. Jarl Dyre, the Stranger, is now a stranger in India. Even stranger, the stranger. Whew. Down here in South India, we're going to click all these titles away that we lost, most of which we didn't even care about because they were only to create the diplomatic range to get here. This is my son. Now he's my heir. Did they fix that problem? One of the problems he used to have was that this son would stay in the wrong house and he wouldn't be able to inherit anything. But it looks like my other son is inheriting. When he would stay in the old house, you'd have to murder him because there was literally nothing you could do about it, even though it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, it's his dad. His dad formed a new house. It's not like he wouldn't go to his kid and say, hey, if you just, like, acknowledge that you're my son, you'll be in my house, and then you can inherit properly here in the land of India. But the game doesn't know how to deal with that, so it just leaves him in his house because it doesn't recognize the connection between them. So he is a bastard founder, right? And that is the problem. It's the way the bastard founder trait rates with us. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because it looks like it's better because it made the proper person my heir. Yeah, this is one of those rare circumstances where the murder of your son is not something you do for pleasure and power, but something you do because bad game mechanics force you to. It's always bothered me because it kind of messes with the roleplay of this particular character, but it looks like it's better now. Yeah, we're not endorsed yet by our goatee, but I'm not sure that I care about that. Have all these mayors that don't like me. What's this guy do? He's just a fornicator? I don't care about fornicators. You know, fornicators, that doesn't matter. He's fine. Nobody needs to put him in jail because he had some sex with some lady. She is got great traits. Too bad she's not my heir. She wants to be a warrior, and we can absolutely help her with that. I love it when my kids become shield maidens. It's one of my favorite things about the Norse. Preserving that trait is really important to the way I like to play, just because I don't want everybody to be a warrior, right? But I do want everybody who's good enough to be a warrior to be a warrior. And I want to be able to have that apply equally to women and men. So we're going to get her a marriage for alliance, but we don't want to accidentally marry her to some old guy who has multiple wives, because that's a thing that happens. Let's worry about marriage later. We'll just give her a guardian now. Who's best for this? Probably me? But I think I have all my guardians filled, that's why I'm not on the screen. So we'll put her with my wife, I guess? Yeah, that's good. Wife is good. Yeah, so my original wife died on the way over here. That's a thing that happened. So we have this woman that we found from like way up north who happened to be Hindu, which is strange, but She's from like really like the middle of nowhere. She's beautiful, which I thought would mean we would get great kids with some intelligence traits and some beauty traits. Um, but that didn't happen. It's interesting that she thinks she's still in my court in Kiev though, because I don't have a court in Kiev. Is she? I hope she doesn't get stuck there. My only court is down here. This is where she should be, not up there. Well, hopefully she comes. Let's disband our units so that we can start making money. We have quite a lot of money. That's the start. We're now ready. I didn't do much of the usual setup stuff that I would do in a game. Like I didn't make sure that all of my counselors were good or anything. So let's just get rid of anybody who's absolutely terrible now. So we'll put this old guy as the spy master because he seems to be better than her. Mayor vassals aren't really important to deal with because you can remove their titles with no trouble at all. But it's still good to have our vassals not hate us. It's not like they're going to be able to rebel anyway, though. And it's nice to know, it's nice for the vassals in general to know that they have my ear, that they get to have a word in what I decide in a theoretical sense. All right, so we have a court physician. I was wrong about that, and we have these prisoners. Ugh, nobody worth any money. She's not really useful for anything. So I guess she gets to feed Odin. Then we have, oh, this is a kid. Jet. If her stats were better, I would find her a guardian and train her and put her into my court. But the fact that her father has no interest in paying for her, I usually don't like to kill kids, though. Ugh. I really don't like to do this. Let's just close our eyes. Let's close our eyes. Everything's gonna be okay. Let's just look away from the screen. Just look away. Okay. And she's gone, right? She's gone. Oh, she's still dead on my screen. Well, that happened. We just murdered a child. That's great. And this guy has been in my prison for like 6 years since some random rebellion back in pseudo-Russia. You know, your 12, 13 prowess, it's 13 prowess, is plenty enough to earn you a place in my warband instead of a spot in the mouth of Odin feeding his endless hunger for human blood. Odin really does seem to like human blood. So we have a lot of money. Most of the money came from the fact that as we came up here, we raided a lot, and we always make a policy of selling prisoners that are worth money and killing the ones they aren't during the setup, because it takes a level 2 faith to found the Jorman Vikings or the Jorm Vikings or whatever they are. So that means that we end up with a decent amount of money since we really have nothing to spend it on. All right, so we probably should be investing that money in our territory. We should take some time to think about what we actually need to do. So our basic plan at the beginning here is going to be expand into the territory that will eventually make up our kingdom. We need to stay Norse for that portion, but the intent in general is going to be changed to a local religion and to hybridize with Tamil. The reason that we're going to hybridize with Tamil is because it'll be the easiest, and they have some things we want. They have quite a number of innovations, particularly, that we want, which is good. There's a lot of stuff that they have that you would have to conquer half of India to get yourself. but hybridizing will give it to you for free. We want to take the Tamil language, but stay North Germanic. And so if we look at the innovations, we can see that there is a bunch of stuff that we have from being Norse, and then there's elephantry, woot steel, and bamboo bows that we get from hybridizing with Tamil. Uh, Not war camels though. That's only south. It's only Africa and Persia, and Persia's really far away, right? Like super far away. That's super far, right? Like really far. Anyway, we'll get elephantry, woot steel, and bamboo bows for free when we hybridize, and woot steel is great. It's one of the reasons you come here. It's one of the reasons you do this. Straight +2 damage to heavy units, and then 1 prowess for everybody, which means more of our young women will beat that +12 to be forced into the military with hooks, making them shield maidens, one of my favorite things to do. Also, once we complete this and go into here, we'll be able to add another another tradition, because the Norse start full, but every time you get a new innovation level, you get an additional one, which is great. Probably we're going to keep the bottom 3 because they're great. We're going to lose malleable invaders because we won't need it anymore. And we'll get rid of Ting Meat because I have no interest in using Scandinavian elective. Even though the extra prestige for the traits is good, it's not worth a slot all on its own. Especially since we want to take a couple things from Tamil, I'm pretty sure. Let's just look at Tamil and see what they have tradition-wise. Oh, they have metalworkers and seafarers. We definitely want seafarers, and we definitely want metalworkers. Metalworkers is great because it means that if you take the blacksmith buildings, you get more base prestige on characters, which again will push more of your young women above the threshold to becoming shield maiden, which is something we really want. So those 2 we'll definitely be keeping. We'll be losing Ting Meat and malleable invaders. There's another trait that's really important to the thing I'm going for. Anyway, we're just going to take this kingdom, and then we're going to need to find some territory for our son who is not part of our house, because we want him to have a good future here. We don't want him to be abandoned. It sucks, because if he was part of my house, it would be advantageous to give him his own land. Like, Lanka's a great place to give him, but we can't take it before we get our kingdom title, because if we do, it will destroy the kingdom title, because we can't. Well, I guess we would actually just become the king of Lanka, wouldn't we? Because we're independent. Yeah, that doesn't matter, though. We wouldn't be able to give it to him until we can't give the kingdom title away until we have a kingdom title of our own. He may just end up being like a ruler in our territory, though. We'll see. And this is my younger son, my actual heir. He is a bit disappointing, honestly. It's not his fault. He didn't do anything, but considering that we have a genius and with a beautiful wife, he has come out with nothing. Most of his siblings, well, his oldest sister isn't that great. Most of his siblings have a little bit of traits, and she's like perfect. Too bad she's not a boy. But she's going to be a soldier one day, hopefully. I mean, if everything works out. Unless she marries far away, which may also be her destiny. Always want to raise the runestones, especially the conquest ones, because they give us control. And we want to put that into the into the duchy capital, because that needs to be good. So when upgrading like this, what I usually do is two economic buildings and 2 military buildings. They started with bastion and curtain walls here, which is great. I would have picked that anyway, and it gives me gold, which is why I like that one so much, because I like to have a fort building. Once we have metalworking, we'll take our duchy buildings to get the prowess, and also they'll make it so that our Varangian adventurers are better because I'm pretty sure Varangian adventurers are heavies. I will check that in a minute. For now, we'll just keep on target. Barracks will make it so that our heavies are stronger. We're not going to be doing much cavalry because all of our cavalry will be elephants. And like I said, oh yeah, Varangian adventurers are heavies, so they'll stack with boot steel and with the buildings that metalworking wants us to build, like the blacksmith. And that means that our second military building will be barracks, so it will be fort building, barracks building, 2 economic buildings. And that should help us both get excessive prowess for making all of our shield maidens and strong income through all the manor houses. The great advantage of this particular spot that I've picked to conquer is that it has tons of farmland, which means lots of manor houses, which means lots of excessive gold. Manor houses and farm and fields both give development growth as well as money and a few other useful things too, which makes them really quite worthwhile. We'll have manor houses on all these farms eventually. We'll also have fields, farms and fields in all the farms. And when we can, we're going to build the walls first because it's nice. The walls, I love the walls and towers because they give a little bit of gold, so it doesn't feel like you're hurting your economy to take them first, and it does make your area harder to take. So we're going to want to attack this guy like immediately if we can, because we need to take this province. And we want to do it while we're still inside of the cooldown for all of the absolute hate these locals have for the wars that we constantly do. Oh wait, not that guy. That guy's wrong. That guy's the guy that we just conquered. This guy is the guy we want to attack nearly right away. The people around here don't like us. They don't like us because we are Norse, which means we like war, and they're not Norse, which means they don't like war. So we do want to change our religion to make it so that we're less inclined towards war ourselves and so that we get the bonus from not being at war. But we also don't want to do that until after we've established ourselves to the point where we can make the kingdom title. Because once we make the kingdom title, we won't need the conquest wars anymore from being Rune Bird people, Odinites, because we will have de jure claims on the rest of the kingdom. So that's basically what we got to do. So we got to take enough land as the Norse in order to form the kingdom, and then once we have formed the kingdom, we will be able to use Kase Bales to continue to expand our claims in it, so we will be able to change our religion, which will make our people like us better. Whew. That and our change of hybrid culture will make peace much more likely to succeed at this land. The religion we're thinking of is up here someplace. It's like the Vishnu religion. It's like Vishnuism. Not that guy. Does this guy have it? Well, not the land. There it is. There it is. Vishnuism. Vishnuism. What? Vishnuism. That's how we're saying it. Vishnuism. I like its tenets, but once we have it, eventually, once we decide to move into the true deep war stage, we're gonna keep esotericism, and we're gonna keep the one that lets us choose a god because that feels Norse. But then we're gonna change reincarnation into warmonger so that we can once again battle for the rest of the country with conquest things. So one of the things I forgot to even talk about it was I mentioned earlier that we needed a 6th tradition, and that 6th tradition is going to be so that we can continue to raid once we're fully feudalized. That tradition is it's the pirate one. Let's just look. It is warfare. No, it's social. It's practiced pirates. We want this because it will allow us to continue to raid for money. Yes, it costs prestige, but whatever, it's still cool. And then we could basically be the Norse pirates of India for the rest of time, and maybe we can start like pirating over in the Middle East and just it's going to be awesome. Being able to raid once we're fully feudalized is just going to be awesome. Now, we don't want to change religion or culture in our region for a simple reason. We don't want to change our religion because it will not be staying, and we don't want to spend all the time changing these to just change them back, but we also don't want to change our culture for the same reason. It is just a waste of our stewards' time to change culture in provinces that we will change back once we're hybridized. Oh, what's this? At the end of the field exercise, it had seemed a brilliant idea. To practice regrouping an army in disarray, I split my troops and ordered every officer to independently make their way to Urier. 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 Of course, by the third day of waiting, but with only half of my army in place, I am now seeing the flaws in Mayor Sigurd's suggestions. I ride out with a contingent of champions to find the missing troops while the rest of my army returns home. I love this event. So we're definitely doing this. Definitely for sure, yes. This is great. On the march. So this is the bar one. So we're gregarious, so we have the good choice at the bottom. We're not going to abandon it. That's silly. This is just like quitting. But we're not gonna have one drink. That doesn't make any sense. We have a reputation to uphold. If you're gonna take one drink, you're gonna have a party. Let's have a party. Halfway is for losers. When my outriders brought the news of the little encampment, I did not expect to find the soldiers still practicing their battle formations. It seems my steward, Lev, took it upon himself to continue the field exercises while waiting for word from the main army. His troops line up neatly as I ride to meet them. Those were not the orders I gave. That's definitely true. I didn't give those orders. Was this shoddy stance? No, just like mock them? Okay, so I'm just going to be a straight dick, and then we're not going to quit. We wouldn't bother to do this at all if we were just going to quit. These are bad choices. I mean, he didn't fuck up that bad, right? He tried his best. I guess we'll just have to take that one. I don't want to make the guy mad at me. On the march, part 3. As I am passing through a small village, I notice that, though clad in simple cloth, the town's guard are all carrying weapons with my mark on them. Welcoming me in the middle of the muddy streets, was Vigitus, the self-proclaimed divine guardian of the town. My soldiers laid down their armor to help this preachess. Is that right? Is preachess the feminization of preacher, or is it just that they did a like a typo on the R? Preacher serve Odin. To help this preacher serve Odin. I already rule by divine right. I don't think they feel that way. Uh, you will have a dry place to. You'll have a day to flee this place. Well, this gives me prestige, but stress. Who is this woman anyway? Like, why do I care if she hates me? I don't. She's just some random wandering zealot. Just go away. Jesus. I have more important things to worry about. There's already priests of Odinism, like bird rune people, trying to change the minds of these people who already have their own gods, and I don't want any of that. Oh, yes. Just stress down. Free stress down. My brother died, and he's like on the other side of the world. We don't need these mercenaries that I hired from my original fight at the beginning. I wanted to make absolutely sure that I didn't lose. That was a big priority. I'm going to get lots of flags of people dying over in Scandinavia who I don't even remember who they are, who I could never see again even if I wanted to. Like, the whole idea that I even know that they exist, like, that I know about their deaths is crazy. Excuse me. So my son needs to marry. Maybe he should trait marry. This seems like a good idea if he marries for traits. Since he's not my primary heir, it's not that big a deal who he marries. There's this like 10-year-old beautiful girl. Uh, yeah, that's fine. He could just marry for whatever. His marriage will serve me either way. It's not like he's gonna he's not even in my family, so it's not gonna like help my dynasty or anything. So we want to marry her for an alliance, like we said earlier, and we want to avoid creepy old men who already have wives because we don't need that. But the creepy old man's son seems like a good choice. It's a little far away, but I mean we are an ocean-going people, and it's like straight up the coastline, so I don't think we care that much about how far away it is. This is probably a good alliance. Oh, they'll take matrilineal. Well, we'll do that. He's not the heir, right? Like that's absurd. There's no possible way he's the heir. No. But it's still good for us to do it matrilineal because if he gets land from a partition, then our son, like our family, will get that land. All right, so we've married ourselves to some of the locals. We've got ourselves an alliance. Things are starting to look a little bit better. We're definitely strong, but not as strong as we could be. We don't need to show these every time they come up anymore because we're no longer needing to hunt for prestige, because that was mostly just so that we could get the Njorm Vikings or the Jarl Vikings and then the 1,000 prestige for our adventure. Is there anything else in here that matters? I don't think so. He's already an Odinite, so, and not an Odinite, he already worships Thor. So more manor houses. Excellent. Up here we'll build manor houses. Oh, wait, no, this is not a... Whew, it's not farmland. We gotta do farms and field here. Alright. Fickle. Fickle's not that bad a trait, and I don't have enough room in my stress bar to change her mind, and I am not going to have a stress break in order to try to stop a child from making random decisions with her life. It's perfectly fine. She's perfectly fine being fickle. Oh, it's a siege event. Alright. Strict organization or never back down. I do want to get the 4 knights, but strict organization is more useful while I have so many different places that are low control. So under siege. The true enemy of every soldier is complacency, my friend Grandmaster Olaf. Oh, that guy's gonna hate me soon. He's gonna hate me soon. Let's just worry about that later. Says before straightening his back. We're standing side by side on the castle's wall. This is the one where we have to pretend to take the castle, right? We're definitely gonna do it. Like, we're not gonna skip it. Under siege, first charge. A tightly shut gate and walls loom high into the sky. Archers can be seen as shadows moving behind the battlements. A feeling of genuine excitement permeates the air. Yeah, we're going to do that because we had a 90% chance to get a very good. Stairwell echoes as another dulled weapon bounces off the middle pillar. For the second time in a matter of minutes, I curse the tight spiral that blocks us from swinging our weapons at the defenders. Okay, so Don't Let Up is a diplomacy challenge. That is, the second one is like the same, but this first one gives me has the same chance of success, has a higher success rating, and gives me diplomacy experience. So we're not gonna stress ourselves up for no reason. We might as well take the first one because it's basically the same as the second one. Battlement Bravado. The final step onto the walls surrounding the castle. Many soldiers may have been lost to the archers on the walls, but we will not be deterred. One after another, we overwhelm the defenders and stand victorious over the fallen. I take a deep breath, then it's time to press on again. We are winning, but there is no room for mistakes. Little extra drama there. Everyone with me. Archers, take your positions. Hit them hard. Show no mercy. Yeah, we're not doing that. We don't need tyranny when everyone already hates us. So everyone with me has less chance to succeed, but gives martial experience. Pretty sure archers take your positions is the 90-10 that all the rest of them were. Oh, are you kidding? I failed at 87%? That feels like bullshit. I succeeded very well at every one except the last one, and they still don't give it to me. Come on. Come on, that's cheap. Come on. Come on, game. Oh, whatever. That's fine. Turn this off. We don't need to see pop-ups for those anymore. So there we are. That's what we're going to be doing. That is this game. That is this playthrough. That is everything in a nutshell. I mean, we should do this, I guess. Dyre, you are a great warrior, but do your enemies truly fear you? I've seen Bragi work himself into an inhuman fury on the field of battle, and I have seen countless foes flee before his howling form. Witnessing Bragi's berserking is like witnessing the fury of Odin himself. Join me in front of the fire. Let us evoke your fury. He beckons. I know there's bad results that can come from trying to become a berserker, but I don't care. I don't see why I would ever not click it. Like, who cares about that guy? Like, I don't see how you'd ever not click it. I mean, it might turn out bad, but still, I mean, Dyre, the stranger bear man of Tamalkand. Yeah. So we're going to have some fun times down here with Jarl Dyre and all of his descendants in India, being the Indian Norse pirates that we have always been destined to be. And try to mix our culture in with them and then become one with their people, accept their religion, but refuse to give up our warliking ways. It's a big plan with a big path ahead of us. Maybe we can succeed eventually at becoming the Emperor of all India. I have done this playthrough before, sort of, like a very similar version of it. Not recorded, of course, where I just took all of India and got the achievement from being the Emperor of all India and controlling all of the Ganges River. These troops are basically the only thing that are holding us up right now, though. We are pretty weak. Our position is not great. Well, I hope that everybody's had a good time, assuming that anyone exists. And that's it. Goodbye. I'll see you next time if I saw you at all, which I didn't and couldn't, because this is a video.